Hello everyone, welcome back to another video from Chasing Speech. Today we are going to be making more pressure content, but not the ones you're thinking about. In this video, we are going to be talking about one of the angler variants, aka Chainsmoker. So without further ado, let's hop into the video. Chapter 1, Chainsmoker's Introduction. Now, before we start getting into my theory about Chainsmoker, let's go over the basics that you guys probably already know, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Now, Z283, also known as the Angler, has 4 variants. These variants are known as Pinky, Blitz, Frogger, and the one we're talking about today, Chainsmoker. Each of Z283's variants has something that they share in common with the regular Z283, but they change it up a bit. For example, Pinky is like Angler, but it comes through the room without flickering the lights. Frogger comes through once, then comes back for a second time. Blitz is just a really fast version of Angler. Now, Chainsmoker is very, very slow, so you might want to make sure not to jump in too early. Now, Chainsmoker emits a very weird green gas from its mouth that follows it, basically. The green gas can kick the player out of the locker. That's why you don't want to get in too early, because if you do, you might get kicked out, and Chainsmoker can catch you. Ways to avoid this angler variant are hiding in a locker when it gets close, or hiding out of sight. Chainsmoker can get you if you're too close to it, so make sure you keep a safe distance. Alright, so now you know everything about Chainsmoker, let's get to why you're here. Chapter 2, Does Not Belong. One weird thing about Chainsmoker is that it looks like it doesn't even belong in the Angler family. For example, Pinky and Frogger both have S-guts, aka a lure. All the Angler variants have some way that they're related, except for Chainsmoker. He's the odd one out. If you take a close look at Chainsmoker, you can actually see that he resembles a deep-sea animal known as the blobfish. Here's a comparison. One thing about blobfishes, though, is that they don't always look like this. They actually look like this. The only reason they look like the blobfishes that we know and love is because when they're brought up to the surface, the pressure of the water decreases and it begins to lose its shape. And in the Let Van zone, what do you think happens to the pressure of the water? The pressure of the water decreases and becomes somewhat like a swimming pool. Now, I want to say that Chainsmoker is like an angler variant, but it's like related to a blobfish. So that means that when it was in the Let Van zone, it started to lose its shape. The only thing wrong with this theory is that Chainsmoker wasn't brought down to the Let Van zone. It is an angler variant, which means it would have to become a blobfish if it spent most of its time in water. Keep in mind, this is just a theory. The angler variant's origins are a mystery, and not including my lure, we have no idea where Chainsmoker came from. From Angler's document, all we can assume is that the angler variants were made or started appearing once the original angler escaped. Now that we've talked about Chainsmoker probably actually being an angler variant, let's move on to one of Chainsmoker's close relatives. Chapter 3, Paranoia and Chains. As we know, Chainsmoker emits a weird green gas from its mouth that can kick the player outside of the locker. However, there is another thing that emits this same gas called the Paranoia box. Here's a bit of info. Paranoia box is a weird box that has been locked up, and Urban Shade has been trying to open it. It emits a green gas and seems to have nothing inside of it. Like I said, the paranoia's box emits a green gas that can give you some types of phobias. The phobias are arachnophobia, fear of spiders; claustrophobia, fear of being trapped; astrophobia, fear of stars in space; erythrophobia, fear of red. An example of this fear of red is blood. Cherophobia, fear of happiness; distichophobia, fear of accidents; capnophobia, fear of smoking; and emetophobia, the fear of eyes. Now, most of these phobias make no sense, since none of these relate to the paranoia's box nor Chainsmoker, but most of these do. Like capnophobia, the fear of smoke, which resembles the paranoia's box and Chainsmoker, since they both emit smoke. One of these phobias really stand out from the others: claustrophobia, fear of being trapped. The reason this one stands out is because when Chainsmoker passes by the player's heart begins to race and they begin to get out of the locker. Here's an example. The player isn't being kicked out of the locker. The player wants to get out of the locker. The phobia from Chainsmoker's smoke is making the player want to get out of the locker. And the more that we're breathing in its smoke is making us more and more scared that we're going to be trapped inside the locker. So we get out, and then if Chainsmoker is still around, we run into him and we get oofed. Now, the fact that both the paranoia's box and Chainsmoker both emit the same smoke that gives you these same phobias has me wondering if they're related of some kind, in some sort of way. Which is where we move on to our next chapter. Chapter 4, The Monster Inside the Box. Now that we know that both Chainsmoker and paranoia's box are related and share the same smoke, I'm wondering, did Chainsmoker come from paranoia's box? Think about it. They both share the same smoke. I mean, it would make sense for paranoia's box and Chainsmoker to both be related. My theory is that Chainsmoker is a monster inside paranoia's box. I think that Chainsmoker was a creature inside the box, and it observed Z283's behavior and decided to become something like it. Though, since it's still from the box, the green gas that the box emits still comes out of its mouth. Though, since it saw that Z283's behavior was a bit too fast and rushed through stuff, it decided to go slower than it to maybe catch players. Now, you make sure to note that this is a theory. I could be completely wrong about this theory, and I could not know. Another theory from me of where Chainsmoker actually originates from is that Chainsmoker comes from another dimension. If you die to Chainsmoker, you get took into this weird place with a big giant paranoia's box. If it opens, you end up dying. I'm guessing that if Chainsmoker jump scares you, you get took into this dimension. And if you get too close to the paranoia's box, then it will kill you. So Chainsmoker actually doesn't originate from the anglers, but instead it was brought to the Haddo Black site. The reasons? I don't know why. Perhaps Chainsmoker is a guardian sent from another world to guard the paranoia's box from opening. I don't know why I'm saying this, but make sure to note, these things are animals. They may be monsters to us, but they originate from the Latvan zone, meaning they are a native species to it. For example, Voltus illuminara, aka searchlights, is a native species. And my theory would mean that Chainsmoker is an invasive species to the Latvan zone. Anyways, that's my theory on Chainsmoker. Thanks for watching this video. If you did enjoy, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications so you never miss a video. That way you can always see your videos. And bye!